wicked years ago. Okay. Sorry about that. We just must have had an internet bump. So everyone should refresh their stream. Let's see here. Alright, so we have a Seismitoad matchup. We are unsure if it is Seismitoad Bats versus Seismitoad Bats. Seismitoad EX does Quaking Punch, which allows whomever uses the Quaking Punch, the opponent's Pokemon cannot play any trainer cards, well, their item cards, sorry, during their next turn. It's a low attacker, but with muscle bands, you can do a good amount of damage. The stream is only one day, 10 days ago. I'm not sure what you guys are about.
They're talking about the 21-day rule.
For the new set. Yeah, Pokemon have created the rule because of the new regional tournaments. That way
the format doesn't change in the middle.
Right, in the middle of events. Even though it's technically going to for this one anyways, because the second regionals, they're the third week of regionals, the second week of US regionals, they're allowed to play it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it is going to be. How do we keep DC? All of a sudden. And I don't like two TVs. Like, I don't know why we should have just not done two TVs. It's pretty useless for us. Because of having to switch cards and read chat, I just need all on one would have been better. I'm just saying.
Make sure people know that these will go on YouTube after the event. So if they miss, a particular round, you guys can check it out on our YouTube channel.
Refresh if you're not back. It should be back now. Everyone, we should be back. Looks like that Reuben played as a Lesage. That's what that is, I can't even tell. It removes
a or special energy.
The Toad vs. Toad matchup is very slow and boring, but and I feel like we're going to see a lot of that today, just based off of the metagame here and around the area. You can't hear at all?
Or is it just that it's too low?
I'm not sure if it's too low or you just can't hear at all. Reuben plays another Seismitoad EX to his bench. We have yet to see any Crobats or Zubats or anything, so it looks like he might just be playing one Seismitoad, but with a Jirachi, I feel like he wouldn't be. We'll find out. Oh, nope, there we go. Okay, so this is a mirror match. It is two Seismitoad EX decks with Zubat, Crobat, and Golbat. The Seismitoad EX does a item lock, which allows your opponent to not be able to play any item cards, which is very crucial right now in the game. And the Crobats and Zubats and Golbats are just an addition to do damage because of the low damage amount that Seismitoad EX does. We saw a Team Flare Grunt from Jacob, which removes a special energy from one of your opponent's Pokemon.
I think it's the active.
Okay. Oh man. Being near the kids section is going to be rough today. I'm going to leave for the headache for sure. Okay. We should be back. What? What does that mean? I didn't hit apply, so does that make a difference? 800 and what?
1,000. But it didn't even say.
That's because I didn't hit apply.
You didn't have to.
You always had that issue. Don't you remember that? Okay. So hopefully we can stabilize. I feel like we're in surgery right now. Someone's life, the lifeline right here of the connection. Why is it all of a sudden having so many problems?
Because people are on the internet.
I don't know. I feel like why would it be any different? If we were streaming fine earlier, so I guess
For the
that's
same
what it
reason
is.
that when people use my Wi-Fi, it would drop. Same thing.
Okay. Well, hopefully it gets better. Worst comes to worst, if we do not be able to keep a live connection, these will be put up on the YouTube channel again sometime next week. So hopefully everything will work out. But it seems like we're keeping it at a sort of stable connection. We lowered the frames per second, kilobytes per second, whatever it is. So we still have 2 Toxic Rogue EX active. It's more than likely going to be this the whole game. Just different setups, whoever's faster will determine. So like we said, the Reuben is flipping for sleep. And he flipped heads, so he is now awake. So which makes his active Pokemon be able to attack, retreat. But it looks like he just passed. He must not have anything in his hand that he can play. He didn't have an energy to even attack. He just took the poison damage between turns. You take 1 damage counter between turns. And it looks like Jacob evolved his Golbat into a Crobat. Crobat allows him to place 3 damage counters on one of his opponent's Pokemon. Where are you coming? This is one of the main focuses of the deck. The Surprise Bite. It's just the addition to doing damage. Toxic Rogue EX does, like I said, a low amount of damage, only 30. With a Muscle Band, it does 50. And
I think you said Toxic Rogue.
it looks like Jacob's going to do another Quaking Punch for 50 more damage. Including the poison damage, now there is a Burbank City Gym in play, which increases the poison damage by 2 between turns. This is another powerful card right now in format. A lot of people are complaining that they would like to see it banned. I think I did say Toxic Rogue. That's what Jimmy said I had said, so. Their discussion of rotation, where Burbank City Gym, whether it'll be rotated out or not. We're still unsure of what rotation will be this year, but hopefully. And before Greninja, I know, right? I try to say Greninja for the Amiibos, and I say every other Pokemon but Greninja. He plays 2 DCEs on a Saxocroak in case Reuben would discard one, either with he's currently trainer locked, so it wouldn't be a crushing hammer or a enhanced hammer, but he can always play Team Flare Grunt and Is Zoroskis energy though, or is it just
it's a tool or special energy.
Tool or special energy on you and your opponent's Pokemon?
Just your opponent.
You can get rid of a tool on yours, I know for 100%.
Oh, well,
it has to be an energy on yours too.
it just says remove from play or something. It's
But it doesn't, are you sure that it's an energy?
It's you or your opponent, not you and.
Right. Okay. But why would you get rid of your own special energy, I guess?
You want to get rid of your own tool.
I understand that, but that's what, I'm not sure if it does the special energy or not. We'll have to see. So it looks like he hit for another Quaking Punch that he had to go back. Like I said, it looks just like it's so far in his favor. He's got the ability to retreat, to bring out any Pokemon as long as he's able to. It looks like this first game is going to be going in Jacob's favor with the 6-3 prize cards. It's best 2 out of 3 this weekend for regionals. So it's anyone's game still. For the regional tournaments, Pokemon this year has made them best 2 out of 3. So there's another Quaking Punch. He is also been hit with the Hypnotoxic Laser, which puts the opponent's Pokemon poisoned. And they flip a coin to determine whether their opponent's Pokemon is asleep. You can barely hear me. Well, hold on 1 second. Hopefully you can hear me now. I put it practically right in front of my face, so hopefully this will pick it up better. Just let me know.
Good place for it.
So it looks like Jacob played a Professor Juniper or Professor Sycamore. You discard your hand and draw 7 cards. It was Professor Juniper. That is one of the main staples to most all decks. Everyone normally plays 4. You can play 4 of all cards except for energy, so you can play as many unless there's other restrictions on the cards. For instance, the Pokemon
A-Specs, you can only play one of Professor Juniper and Sycamore. You can only play one or the other. You can't play both in the deck, so you can't have like 2 Junipers and 2 Sycamores, but you can have 4 of one or the other.
So we see Jacob doing the retreat, taking in game 1 with he grenade hammered, something you don't see very often from the Seismitoad EX. It is mostly always just Quaking Punch, but that is just game 1, so it's best 2 out of 3, meaning you have to win 2 matches, 2 games out of the match to win. So there's still much time in the round. Okay, go ahead. Sure. That's fine. You can't wait? You can't wait till the in-between rounds? Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. They're setting up during this. Here, shuffling is very important. You gotta make sure that your deck isn't clumped or anything for the next game. I personally don't know either of these players, so I couldn't tell you anything particular about them. After their match, we will have an interview with the winner, so we'll find out a little bit about them. We'll be streaming. I know some people were asking, if we were going to be streaming the same match all day. It's going to be random of which match we will pull to the stream table. And so you won't be watching the same people play all day. You could see somebody play the same. Yeah, the Seismitoad mirror is not one of the things. Actually, I'm not 100% sure how many rounds. I know there's a top 32. There was 128 masters, so they did get a top 32 today. How many rounds, we'll find that out for you in a second. As soon as I find a judge, I'll have them come over and we'll find out how many rounds we have. I assume with 130 or 128, probably 8. Maybe only 7. It just depends. It's also TO's discretion whether they want to have the extra last round or not. So before Top Cut, I assume that there's probably 8. Yeah, 7 or 8, one of the two. It's gonna be a long day regardless. I remember I played in this tournament, this regionals last year for the best 2 out of 3, and by the time the end of the day came, I couldn't even remember half of the things that happened earlier in the day. You were so drained from playing all day. And everybody doesn't sleep very well the night before because of playtesting and nerves, and you're not at home. There's multiple things that cause that. So it's definitely a very long day for everyone. So, all right, so we have Jacob going first, seems, with Zubat active. He started playing a Professor Juniper. He discarded his whole hand and drew 7 cards. He plays another Zubat on the bench and a Seismitoad EX, while Reuben started with his Seismitoad EX. Jacob also played a Hypnotoxic Laser and a Burbank City Gym. Again, Hypnotoxic Laser puts your opponent's Pokemon poisoned, and you flip a coin. If heads, the opponent's Pokemon is asleep. How sleep works: if you're asleep in between turns, you flip a coin. If heads, you are awake. If tails, you stay asleep. Burbank City Gym also adds the 2 additional damage counters for the poison damage. So, as you can see, Reuben's Seismitoad EX has the 3 damage on it out of the 180. So, something, if Reuben does get the double colorless and a muscle band, he can knock out Jacob's Zubat, which would be very important. 1 less Zubat on the board for the Goldbat Crobat damage. That'll be pretty good in Reuben's favor. At the same time, it also could be bad. One of the hardest things is figuring out how to get all the prize cards and taking odd prize cards. It's always difficult. Okay. How many rounds are there? How many rounds are there?
7 for Masters.
Okay.
6 for Junior.
Okay. Good judge. Corey Scott's here, or Bud's Corey Scott. Some of you know from the house. You don't know what junior it is? So take it to the front desk, whatever table it is, and they'll.
Lee told me to just bring it over here.
All right. Well,
I'm doing what I'm told.
that's fine. It's cute, Matt. It's a cute Matt. I'm sure they'll realize. Yeah, it's pretty cute. Sorry for the brief pause. So we do have confirmed it is 7 rounds for Masters. So again, a very long day ahead. I'm not sure how much of Top Cut they're going to do tonight. It all depends on it. When they get done. It always is like that. It just depends on how long of the day. So far we've missed. Reuben played an N, it looks like, and did get the DCE, but it seems that he did not get the muscle band. Muscle band adding the additional 20 damage, and he did not hit the hypnotoxic laser to poison the Zubat, so Jacob is keeping his Zubat alive, which is very, very, very clutch for him. And it looks like he's got the gold bat in hand. He played down another Seismitoad EX. He did evolve the Zubat on the bench, putting 2 damage counters on the Seismitoad EX on the bench. Oh, but Jacob did not have the energy to Quaking Punch this turn. This is very crucial. To miss that trainer lock allows Reuben to still play his item cards this turn. He could easily start playing his Hypnotoxic Lasers. That's one thing that gets stopped from the Quaking Punch, which makes the opponent not be able to play the Hypnotoxic Laser. So this is very key to have both play. Just sit down. Both play trainers. A junior left it at their table, so Corey brought it over here. So that was a very important Hypnotoxic Laser, Quaking Punch play. Looks like Reuben has a Lysander. Lysander, choose one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. It becomes their active. It is a supporter. You're only allowed to play one supporter per turn. And he then played a Hypnotoxic Laser, which, because Jacob did not Quaking Punch, it allows him to still play. Yeah, let the hammers begin. It allows him to still play the Hypnotoxic Laser, which is huge right now, to get that damage on those Seismitoad EXs. And he has a gold bat as well. So he will be doing Sneaky Bite, putting 2 damage counters on the Zubat that he had placed 3 on from the Quaking Punch the turn before, taking that prize card. And Quaking Punching for 30, with the additional 30 from the poison damage. We've got Jacob playing another Professor Juniper. This will be his 3rd he played this game, so, and it looks like he has a good amount of deck left, so he's a big disadvantage if he gets hit with the N later on, not having any more of the Junipers left. But with a junior left it at their table, and yeah, it is really cute. Corey brought it up here. I don't know what table it was or anything, so, I mean, that's just what his lead told him to do. So, well, little kid's crying. There it is. It's cute, right? Alright, so it looks like Jacob pulled a Seismitoad EX out with the Quaking Punch to knock out Reuben's Seismitoad EX. So Reuben sent out his gold bat. And looks like he has the 2 water energy attached to his Seismitoad EX on the bench. He like I said to you, like I was just explaining how crucial this end's going to be, because Jacob will have played 3 of his Professor Junipers already, and if he is Seismitoad Quaking Punch locked, he will not be able to play a VS Seeker to get his Junipers back. VS Seeker lets you search your discard pile for a supporter card and put it in your hand. So we see Reuben brings out his Seismitoad EX and Quaking Punches with the additional 30 damage from the poison. We see Jacob's hand. He looks like his front card looks like an N maybe? Nope, it's an AZ. So he's gonna, AZ lets you pick up one of your Pokemon, discarding all cards attached to the Pokemon, and put the Pokemon in your hand. So he picked up that Seismitoad X. This is very key. But again, I mean, he's not going to get to use Quaking Punch again this turn, and he... Hello, it's nice to see you again.
What I'll do is when we pair each round, I'll just take field table 19 from the seniors and tell them to go sit at table X and send them to table 19.
Sure,
Okay,
perfect.
So we're doing the masters.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. That was the head judge today, Judge Mom Jen, coming in to let us know what tables are switching around. We had set the camera up in the senior division, not thinking that seniors were going to be first of the table numbers. But we got it all worked out to stream the Masters. What's the problem with those little kids on the camera behind them, though? You see what I'm talking about? On the table beside them? I guess so. Okay. So, we're just trying to understand little technical difficulties. Hopefully next round will be much smoother. The first round's always rocky. Alright, so it looks like Reuben did another Quaking Punch for 30. And Jacob just has to pass. It looks like he has 2 gold bats and a Seismitoad in his hand. I'm not sure what other cards he has, but it is looking not so good for him this game.
A lot of trainers I saw
He had he had drawn a muscle band off the end, yeah. So he's got a lot of trainers that are getting locked out of play from the Quaking Punch attack, which is stopping him from playing any item cards. While Reuben is like free to play any item cards that he wants, so he played a VS Seeker, choosing to get his Lysander, playing the Lysander, bringing out the Seismitoad X and Quaking Punch for 30 damage, and it looks like Jacob just passed again. It's just, this is a rough match for him.
I keep wanting to pick up Jacob's discard to see what's in it.
Right? It looks like, I mean, he's really, really struggling because he played 3 straight Professor Junipers in a row at the beginning, and he's just going to get down to not having, he's got such a big amount of cards left in his deck. He's going to just run into where he got N to 4, taking those 2 quick early prize cards, and just drawing into what seems to be a whole lot of nothing. Oh, he drew a Lysander's Trump card. Lysander's Trump card, you pick up your entire discard pile, shuffle it into your deck, excluding Lysander's Trump card. That includes you and your opponent. So he's shuffling his discard pile back into his deck, so hopefully, you know, he still has to draw into a Professor Juniper, but he at least put them 3 back in, so he may have a chance. He's, you know, at this point, he's not getting to play the VS Seeker for them in the discard pile, so they're not as worth in the discard pile as they will be in his deck, so hopefully, you know, he's really trying to luck into the draw here for that.
Got like 1 in 12 chance.
Yeah, he's got a very low odds, but we got Reuben's turn. He played back down his Zubat, and not last turn, and is evolving into Gold Bat, putting 2 damage counters on the bench Seismitoad X of Jacob's, and playing a Seismitoad in Quaking Punch. As Jacob, it looks like he just drew and passed again. He's calculating damage here. He's got 90 damage on the Seismitoad X. Oh, he did pass. And Reuben playing a Super Scoop Up. That advantage of playing items and not playing items is very key. Looks like we disconnected. Hopefully we'll be back. we should be back. We dropped our connection. So, it looks like Reuben played that Super Scoop Up, picking up his Seismitoad EX and sending out another one with a DCE on it. Oh, and it looks like Reuben now and Jacob possibly into a much better hand. He is really hoping on something to play literally anything to get more cards in his hand, and to Quaking Punch. I mean, he just wants to attack. He needs to put damage on the board before Reuben can get so much on the board that Jacob just can't come back from that. So I'm not too sure what is in Reuben's hand. But he did play another Super Scoop Up and got tails. Super Scoop Up, you flip a coin. If heads, you may pick up one of your Pokemon and play. Put it back into your hand. If tails, it does no effect. So it looks like he Quaking Punched the Crobat, and then Jacob's turn, he Team Galactus Flare Grunt, discarding that double colorless on the active Seismitoad Reuben. So this could be Jacob's big break to be able to play his trainers next turn. Not that he has a whole lot in his hand. He did have a VS Seeker though, but I don't think he has anything in his discard pile. Reuben played a Professor Juniper, discarding his hand and drawing 7. He has not attached an energy for this turn yet, so he still has his energy attachment. And he did get the double colorless energy and the muscle band. Wow, it's just, this is just the, you see, in the last game you had Jacob having full advantage of the game. And it looks like that Jacob scooped his trick game. They want to go to game 3. The advantages of best 2 out of 3 is, yes, you have to win both games, 2 out of the 3, but you have the advantage of, if you win the first one, you can scoop up the second game if you don't see yourself winning, to allow yourself more time for the third game, as these are time matches. So they're just going to shuffle up. Jacob scooped up the game. It didn't seem very much in his favor. He, tried his hardest. He didn't get anything really well off of Reuben giving him that free end to get more cards in his hand. But Reuben did end up getting that double colors energy. What? Aww. So we've got the third game in this match. It's always nice to see it go to 3. Mostly because, as you saw, Jacob had a really good first game, and, Reuben didn't get a chance to go. And now Reuben had a really good game, and Jacob didn't get a chance to do so well on his second game. They're currently discussing something with the judge. Not 100% sure what, but they're asking for some judge rulings here to determine something we're unsure of. The regionals Gallade playmats are so nice. These are the new mats they are giving out for those regionals, and they are so pretty looking. They are far better looking in person than they even appear on stream. The colors are so, they pop really well, and they're just really nice. I'm getting hungry. My stomach hurts. And we get to see some good sportsmanship. That's always appreciated. And, well, it looks like Jacob is going to have to start with his Jirachi EX, and that is a rough start for Jacob right away. Yeah, they did. Oh, so did Reuben. A 2 Jirachi EX start. Like, very unfavorable for both players. They're both laughing about it. They both know how upsetting it is to start with your Jirachi EX. Jirachi EX is a more support Pokemon than a attacker. Jirachi EX has stellar guidance. When you play Jirachi EX from your hand to your bench, you can search your deck for a supporter card and put it in your hand, shuffle your deck afterwards, and oh, there we go. I'm trying to get a scan of it for it, yeah, and it does not get that supporter advantage from the start, so it's good to not start with it, of course. And the fact that both players started with it,
It's
you
just
know,
kind of fun.
they're both a little less sad because they both looked at their hands and they were really upset because you normally play only about one Jirachi EX in your deck. Some decks are starting to play two. Probably the Seismitoad decks are going to be playing two, and you're seeing yourself starting with that and you are just instantly sad. So for him to both flip over it, you know, it's just something they can relate on. Feel good about it, but they're both in the same struggle. Looks like Jacob did get to play a Hypnotoxic Laser. Again, your opponent's Pokemon is poisoned, and you flip a coin for sleep. It looks like he had flipped heads. So we've got the Jirachi EX poisoned and asleep, and during Reuben's turn, between turns, he did not wake up, so his Jirachi EX is still asleep. It's not that crucial to wake up at this point. He wasn't going to really retreat the Jirachi EX necessarily. He more than likely wanted to switch and attack with the Seismitoad EX for the Quaking Punch this turn. So, did play a double colorless energy on the Seismitoad EX and played Professor Juniper, discarding his hand and drawing 7 cards. I'm not sure whether or not Reuben plays Switch or not. He does play the Super Scoop Up though. This is very key. He got the head, so he did Super Scoop Up. He flipped a coin of heads. He gets to pick up one of his Pokemon in play and put it to his hand. So he picked up that Jirachi EX, put it back in his hand, brought out his Seismitoad EX and attached the Muscle Band and played a Zubat. Top of that on the bench, attacking the Zubat for 40 hit points and knocking it out with the Seismitoad EX doing 50 damage. Oh, it looks like Jacob missed the energy again for this. This is very key right now. In order for him to stay even, he needed that energy right now to Quaking Punch back on Reuben. As we saw the free turn of trainers, item cards are so key right now. It just seems like Reuben is in a big lead here. Just strictly from the energy, missing that energy drop, so. Alright. Reuben looks like he is trying to play a Ultra Ball or something. Yep, he's Ultra Balling. Discard 2 cards from your hand, search your deck for a Pokemon and put it in your hand afterwards. Shuffle your deck, and he got it looks like he got the gold bat, placing 2 damage counters on the opponent's Jacob's active Seismitoad EX, while also getting to attach a water energy. This is the first round. It started a little bit ago. This is the 3rd game. So he Quaking Punched for 50 on top of the Sneaky Bite, I believe is what the Golbat's attack's called. Oh, he got the energy this time. That's good. He's at least Quaking Punching. So this is now a double Quaking Punch game. So it's going to come down to... Oh, okay. So he played a Xerosic, discarding... Reuben played a Xerosic, discarding Jacob's DCE. So now he's got to get another one. But at least he's returning the Xerosic. It looks like he just passed, so Reuben's turn again. The turns are just cutting through really quickly. Reuben plays an N, and both players shuffle their hands into their deck and draw up to however many prize cards, draw to how many prize cards they have left. So Reuben will get 5 and Jacob will get 6. Jacob's hand is very strong right now. I'm not sure if Reuben got the DC. Jacob's hand, oh, he did.
I got the computer search.
He got the computer search to get the DCE for the Quaking Punch, which is very huge for Reuben right now. To keep that trainer lock. He's got the DCE and a Crobat doing Crobat's ability, putting 3 damage counters, knocking out Jacob's Seismitoad EX active. And there's a 3rd Juniper in a row. He's digging deep for anything that could try to help him. Looks like he just Quaking Punched, so now Reuben cannot play any item cards this turn. And Reuben just Quaking Punched back. Jacob's going to play an N, so they're going to both shuffle their hands in their deck and draw the amount of prize cards they have remaining. The prize cards are the face-down cards to the top of the screen. One of the win conditions is taking all of your prize cards. So he draw into that, so that he also did get a Zubat. Jacob did a Quaking Punch. Reuben got a Zubat and Quaking Punched back. Looks like there was a miscommunication on damage there. Jacob attached a water energy to his active Seismitoad EX. He course for 4.
Oh, there's a Zubat.
There's a Zubat. He has a Zubat in play. He's really and truly just searching for Goldbats and Zubats at this point. He needs to do the little bit of damage he can extra to try and get himself back in this game. But by his hand, he's going to be able to Lysander next turn, but I'm not sure whether or not he's going to really want to. Reuben Quaking Punches again. He top decked a Colress. Jacob top decked a Colress machine. Or just a Colress. Colress, you shuffle your hand into your deck and draw for as many bench Pokemon there are in play. Shuffle your deck afterwards. He's getting another 4 cards. He got a Crobat, so he's going to be putting 3 more damage counters on Reuben's active Seismitoad and Quaking Punching for the knockout. Reuben sends out his Crobat. Crobat has free retreat costs, meaning he does not have to pay a retreat cost to retreat, and allows him to send up any active Pokemon he would like. It's very important to have that ability to know what he wants to do. He's more than likely going to send out a Seismitoad, but you never know what he could change to. He might want to send out a Seismitoad with a double colorless or something along those lines. So it looks like he drew 3 cards while Jacob drew 4. I didn't really catch Jacob's hand, but we got the Quaking Punch from Reuben onto Jacob, knocking out his Seismitoad EX. Reuben is now down to 1 prize card while Jacob has 4. He's gonna Sneaky Bite for 2 damage counters on the active Seismitoad EX. Reuben is checking his discard pile. Reuben is Professor Juniperine with the Via Seeker. We figured he would go for a Lysander. I don't know if he's played one in this game, and he might have discarded one, but and he
Oh, he got the laser.
he got the hypnotoxic laser for the 3 extra damage counters, and he used the grenade hammer, giving himself his last prize card for the win. So we've got our winner, Reuben, Monroy. Again, it was the size of Toad mirror match. Most mirror matches are not that great. They're always whoever sets up first, whoever gets that advantage normally wins with mirror matches. It doesn't happen very often that there's an upset, so that's a lot of how mirror matches work with all the decks in the thing. Flip what?
Flip the camera.
Why?
Vertical too. Because it's backwards.
Okay. So that's it. We will hopefully get an interview with Reuben.
I don't know if we're gonna have time. They just called 15 minutes.
They called time was called? Well, we can for a hot second if you like.
Okay.
Alright, well, we'll be back.